Hey folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Today is Friday, October 2nd, and in today's video we're going to discuss Suncor and the news that just came out about some potential layoffs. They said they could lay up to 15%, so we'll dive into that in just a second, but make sure to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified on any future updates. So taking a look at the news article that just came out, you can see it was just 15 minutes ago. Canada's Suncor Energy to cut up to 15% of jobs as the sickness continues to crush the demand for oil. And we've also been seeing a huge increase in renewable energy. We know that Joe Biden is very pro climate change and wants to create a lot of jobs with the renewable energy space. And we can see the ETF 10, which is absolutely exploding at the moment. It's at all-time highs. I'll just bring that up for you folks real quick. This is the solar ETF, and you can see we're at all-time highs and we're just absolutely busting the past few days. You can see we're up 25% here in the last week or so, and we're starting to see a momentum shift and potentially some more headwinds and catastrophes ahead for these companies as we start to see a little bit more transition away from the traditional oil as a form of energy and fossil fuels. And I seen today that there's been a lot more countries and whatnot that want to eliminate fossil fuels by 2030. We saw that California by 2035 wants to do away with combustion vehicles. So we'll see how quickly this starts to ramp up. And we could be looking back at this year as one of the pivotal points in the energy sector. But you can see they're cutting up to 15% and won't really be affecting the unionized workers, but essentially they're just going to be laying off a top heavy staff and contractors, that type of thing. But we're not really seeing that much of a negative reaction right now. We'll dive into some charts and some analysis on the TSX. So we can see here, actually I'll bring it up on the NYSE. So you can see here that we are, whoops, that's the wrong one. So you can see here that we are bouncing on the daily. So bulls are not really doing much of anything at the moment, just basically going sideways, but still digesting that news. We are seeing a little bit of a negative reaction to it here now, looking for a 5-minute higher low to potentially change the 5-minute trend. But taking a look at the monthly chart, and hopefully this is helpful for you guys, but we are potentially entering, well, we are in a monthly downtrend, and we are potentially entering another low here. We are seeing increasing sell volume on the monthly, so that's never a good sign. And we're well below the EMA 12 resistance. And you can see on the weekly, we're in a weekly downtrend. Daily, we are in a daily downtrend as well. So all larger time frames are in downtrends. I believe we're in an uptrend. No, hourly, we haven't set an hourly higher low and higher high yet, so we still are in a downtrend on the hourly chart. On the 15-minute chart, we're in a solid uptrend. So you can see here we have a last higher low here at 1568. And taking a look at the 5-minute chart, once again, you can see that we are fading. We are ramping up here in bear volume, but we haven't seen anything notable over the 20-period moving average for the volume. Taking a look at SU on the weekly time frame, so you can see that we've crossed bearish on the MACD, but the stochastic is trying to cross bull. We're well below the 10-week moving average. So personally, we could potentially be testing the low here of the March lows at 943. I wouldn't rule that out of the equation at this point. And taking a look at the daily chart, where we are well below the 50-day moving average. So the stock market has been at all-time highs. The energy market is not doing that bad today. And as we see that solar is really doing really well with the TAN ETF. So a little worrisome here that we are pulling back so hard on Suncor, but potentially could be due for a bounce. Personally, I'm not entering anything at this point. They do offer a dividend. I think it was 10%, but they cut it to 5%, and it was temporary. But yeah, it's not looking good. We did break some prior supports on this move down today. So taking a look at SU on the daily, you can see here that we did have support back at 1606 and 1484. So we did hold that, but we broke it this morning, and we are trying to bounce above that support now. But the next levels on watch would be 1484. And below that, like I said, the March lows at 1637 on the TSX. On the NYSE levels, we're looking at, like I said, the March low of 961, and then the next support of 1061. So personally, based on where we are now, we did crack that support, but bulls are trying to save it from this morning. So they're trying to save the 1132 level. If we can close above the 1132 level, it's looking good. We could potentially see a continuation on the daily bounce. But personally, if I would have been looking for an entry, I would have entered this morning off of that support. Once we broke above it, I would have entered near that support and set my stop just below. Or another play, you could potentially look to enter off of 1020, and maybe you're looking at getting into Suncor. Maybe you think it's a good long-term. Maybe you're a patient bull and you're just waiting to get on in a daily high or low, or once we confirm a daily trend change to the bulls. But maybe you want to scale in. So maybe you want to set an order here for the support down at 1132. Maybe you scale another order in at 1020. Maybe you scale around the $10 mark. Maybe you take another one at the $9 mark. So make sure that you make sure that you establish the support and your targets for the move. If you're looking to hold long term, then you definitely want to be using the weekly and monthly charts. But we're certainly looking like we could be in for some more downside in the short term, especially if the overall market, say SPY, starts to roll over. We start to see more fear and headlines regarding the Trump sickness that we all heard about today. So it's definitely showing some potential, but we want to be careful going into the weekend as well. We could see some negative headlines over the weekend. So keeping that in mind, like I said, just make sure that you have a stop loss set and a game plan established, and do not get complacent because the stock market could roll over at any point, and seeing a lot of bearish indicators as well. So it's going to be very crucial on how SPY closes today. I will do another video at the end of the day to do a daily market recap, but I had a lot of members asking about Suncor and friends and family. So I thought I'd do a quick video and share that with you folks. So have yourselves a great rest of the trading day and stay safe out there.